Hello, everyone. I'm Carrie, and this is Ladies Talk. And at the beginning of our podcast, I like to talk about a recent piece of news. South Korea's President Yoon declared martial law, but it was revoked just 6 hours later, sort of a quick on and off switch. And South Korea is a place somewhat known for its K-pop, of course, and the idols and the dramas, and also plastic surgery. And in recent decades, it's also been a thriving democracy. As a South Korea's ally, the United States has a comment on President Yoon's decision to impose this martial law and stating, quote, "It is an unpopular move." And this incident sparked my curiosity about President Yoon's personality. What type he represents in Bazi? Because we have talked about lots of Western celebrities about their Bazi type, like wood, fire, water, and earth. So what caused him to make such a decision? I'd like to hear Frida's thoughts from your angle. Okay, Frida?
Yes, Carrie, and thanks for having me. Yes, I did check the South Korea President Yoon's Bazi, and I put their two together, the couple, and so we can have a look. First, the President Yoon Suk Yeol's, they're both born on Mouse year. Actually, they had a 12 years age difference, but they all born in the mouse year. So we call mouse year, we call 子. So the message is like everything sprouts and grows, and clear water becomes well and spring water, while turbid water become river ditches. How to explain that? The President Yoon Suk Yeol is born in Mouse Zi year, and the mouse also the mouse we call Zi month. So that means in his Bazi, and he already had two mouse, so we call two Zi. Zi means water. It's winter. We call winter, and it's cold. It's water. It's a bit dark. In Chinese, it is said that the person has ink in his stomach. So, Carrie, have you heard that? It says like this person, they drink lots of ink. It's not actually it's drink. It means they study a lot, because a long time ago when people writing, they have to use the ink, and so they're learning things, and we will say like if these people drink a lot of ink, that means he's quite master of study. Yeah, good studies. So Yoon is a good study person. Also, the two mouths is combined together. It's a bit like an ink pool. So we saw the ink pool, yeah. And also, some part it's like a running traffic. It's because the mouse were running wrong. It's a bit like the water is running. For the personal life, maybe this person is doing things. It's always busy. Never stop, or it's a bit of running. So it's just showing you that it's a bit of running.
It reminds me, you can continue.
You first.
Okay. It reminds me that before the President Yoon becoming the president, actually he was a prosecutor. And I think in this incident, he must have known what martial law means for the ordinary people in a democratic country. And the interesting part is it is said that he tried to pass the bar exam at least 9 times. Just reflect what you said just now. You said he is in the pool. One side, that means he is good at studying. but kind of busy for the study. And on the other hand, that means the kind of traffic, right? Kind of the traffic happens, right, in his path. Of course, we all know that passing the bar exam not a piece of cake. Like in Japan, even the pass rate for the judicial scriveners is only 5%. So from this angle, could you tell us more?
Yes, we say the ink pool, but I haven't mentioned that is the ink. Sometimes they need, the dragon water dam to store. So he had the year is mouse, month is mouse. So it's 2 ink, but he got the date, the fat owner, and he's born in the dragon day. So that means that the water is running, but they finally were running to the water dam. So they had a collection for the water. The water all were stored there. That means he had many times tested, but his knowledge of things, every time it goes on and it was stored in his the water drum. So the inside of the dragon, because the dragon is belong to the water dam. So he collect all that. That means he got a lot of collection for doing what this thing, or that's why he quite knowledgeable when he worked in the government job. And he also impeaches the private leader, the lady, I forgot the name, but and sent her in the prison. Why he had a 9-time test? I have to say the fat owner Yoon is born in what we call Gensen. Gensen means young mantle and dragon. So for the heavenly stem is young mantle, and for the earth branch is dragon. So for the Chinese, the 60 heaven earth element cycle, and they had 4 we call Kuigang. Kuigang means the people with Kuigang in their destiny are usually they are brave and resolute and never admit defend, and they may be as powerful as Sada or fail miserably. So the Gencheng is one of the Kuigang. People with this kind of element, actually their personality is very strong. But the problem is the young, the mental, the Gen, it need fire. Fire is very important element for the young Gen. Otherwise, their life is very poor, And I believe he probably was born in the time, for example, maybe he's born in the time at a lunchtime. It's the fire time, like a snake time, horse time. It's had fire there, or he's born in the time had the heavenly stem had the yang fire Bing or yin fire Ding. That will make his life to step up to the higher position at a very late age. When he's married, it's around 50 or something. It's quite late. For the Bazi, we know each line, each parallel line, we connect with 15 years. So 15 years, he must have some fire there. Otherwise, it's not possible he can step on this position, because he's born in the mouse year, mouse month is really cold. So usually for the young mental, if they're born in such cold time, they had very hard life at the early age. Because we didn't discover that, so we're not sure. But we can see he find the wife, and his wife actually is young fire.
Ooh. You know what, Frida, with his wife, the gospel was the couple, they both were satisfied with each other's Bazi. And which ultimately led them to agree this marriage.
Yeah. That's why I said for Yoon, quite possible his time the bond must have had a fire. That's why he found a wife, because the fire is a very important element for
him.
For him. If without a fire, the young mentor can't do anything. You just think it's a very stubborn, the mental, very hard. If no fire to transform, him or to push him, to doing something, it's not possible, his life can step up. Because in Bazi, young mentor without fire is very poor life, poor life. That's very important. That's why I think he's very care about his wife, and also his wife is quite a rich woman, I think.
About his wife, actually, at the moment I saw her, she had a very typical, the plastic surgery face, the template face, because Korean is famous for the plastic surgery. But the disadvantage is that the template-like faces. So that's what my impression about his wife. I have a question about, because you mentioned about the concept of the 15 years.
Yeah.
In Bazi, that means luck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means for each person, they have 15 lucky years or 10 lucky years. What that mean?
It means element power in charge. It's also like a clock. It's moving. For example, he is a young mentor. It's, we call the gun. But that element is just the fat owner. But the fat owner, it's a bit like a Taiji. Taiji, we had the point. The point will move. Like a clock. It's your database is like a clock. It will cycle. Each line is connected with in main charge for 15 years. The young mentor first line in charge with 15 years first. Young mentor. And he's born in the also young mental year for the mouse year. So heavenly stem is young mental. So for the first 15 years. So that means that the power of the mental and the water is very strong. So that means since he's very, the little, the mental power is very strong. I'm not sure when he studied at school, is he will face a lot of bullying or, the challenge, because he's a fat owner, we call the Kuigang. It's quite possible he can declare the martial law is because this kind of element, they are decisive and resolute when facing with problems, like hate procrastination, like to act bravely and have their own principles in doing things. So I know that in Korea, in the school, they also had a lot of bullying. The strong kids will charge weak kids or something. I think he will face a lot of challenge when he's little, but he probably never scared of that because he's a young mentor. So we can see his face. Actually, his face is a little bit, have you seen his facial? It's a little bit like a square, because it's a corner, the bone is very strong, and the head, the corner side is also bone very strong. It makes the face looks a little bit like a rectangle. Rectangle shape actually is belong to the mental shape. So people with a lot of mental power, young mental power, and their face will a little bit look like a square. We call the Jing power, the mental power.
Beside the point, actually, that explains that although he was a prosecutor before he became the North Korea's president, he knew what martial laws means for the ordinary people. But in this incident, he decided to do that, right? When he faced some kind of difficult situations, he only think about one goal, and he decided to do it, right? Although the United States comment on this incident said it's an unpopular move, but he did it, and actually he knew the result.
Yeah, because for people with the 魁罡, and a lot of they maybe work in the police force or go to the army, or some will be easily to become an official staff, or will mostly like work in public security or judicial departments, or some people work in prisons, the prisons, and they judge the criminal or something, because his personality is like that. But we need to know, when people have this personality, and their training is from the very little. When they're very little, they're already, facing, lots of things by themselves. That means they grow up very independent. And so that's why we need to check, the each line, the 15 line, 15 year. So that's why I said he had before 45 years, actually is a really tough life. So that's why he first marriage is so late. We can understand.
I see. I understand. Totally understand. When the United States media talk about the incident, they said they were keeping saying that it's a blindsided action. It's blindsided action. they never think about as a ally, and Korean president would do this action. So now I understand. Okay.
Yeah, because his personality is quite powerful. And also in the Yoon Suk-yeol couple story, it says all his behavior is because he tried to protect his wife, Kim Jin-hui, from the public medium, the scandal attack or something. Because his wife, Kim's fat owner is, we call the Bing fire. So Bing fire is belong to the Yang fire, and and it refers to the sun, which means the sun is shining brightly, and it also means that it is suitable for various social activities, and it can also be easily to misunderstood as a happy event. Yeah, because the young Binghu is more likely to become a public person, because they had their energy, the energy to show up. I have to mention that because for the young Gen, for Yoon, actually his best fire is in fire, is not a young fire. But he need fire, that's for sure. That's why when he gets the young fire, and definitely will bring the trouble or facing the challenge more than if he got in fire. So that's the difference.